A lot of horrible stuff has been going on the internet. People are spreading misinformation. I've had enough. It's enough. Alright? Stop spreading misinformation. I'm not happy with it. I've had enough of it, okay? I'm not happy. I've had enough. You people, you conservatives, you're spreading lies. I'm going to expose you. Now, guys, if we take a look at YouTube's terms of service, we can see they do allow you to dismantle misinformation, all right? Obviously, we don't want to promote misinformation, but we do want to let people know that it is out there. We do want to shut down this misinformation, all right? So that's what we're going to be doing today, all right? We're going to be disputing and condemning this misinformation because it's horrible. These conservative people, these Trump supporter types, they've done too much damage. Alright guys, here we are. We've got a young man here. He's going to be spreading some lies. This COVID thing's been going on for a year. A little bit over that. Almost a year maybe. I actually don't know exactly. It's around that time frame. But it should be obvious to anyone who's been paying even a little bit of attention, who has a little bit of common sense, that this whole thing is a setup. If you just look around at some of the things concerning this whole situation, just some obvious things. You don't even really have to be a person that looks into politics or anything a lot. But if you looked at obvious stuff that's for everyone to see, for people who are not very interested in what is going on, you can tell there's something suspicious about the government forcing us to wear masks, the government trying to get us to stay inside of our houses, and now this COVID vaccine. Right off the bat, guys, this guy is heavily breathing. He's breathing a lot. Why would you be breathing so heavily if you're not lying? She's very nervous, very timid. He's mentioning politics. He's politicizing this whole thing. And this is the problem. People who want to take a deadly virus and politicize it. Vaccine passport stuff. So basically, in the beginning, we heard about this virus. Oh, there's a virus in China. It comes over here and then starts spreading in the country. Okay. And then you get a lot of politics involved with this. Oh, maybe it didn't come from China, blah, blah, blah. But then what you start to see is more and more. It goes from we have this virus and we're a little bit scared to now, okay, well, this virus is very serious. And even though it is like the flu, we're going to shut you guys inside of your homes. We're going to lock you inside your houses. And this is a good thing because we're watching out for your safety. Now, for anyone with any intuition, that should be a good sign that there's something suspicious going on. Now tell me, mister, what exactly is suspicious about the government protecting us and keeping us safe? That is what they are there to do, okay? You see, these people, they're a certain kind of person, okay? They've been going around the internet. They've been going into very, very dangerous circles, okay? Things like QAnon. All right, these were the people at the January 6th riot. Now, what exactly is wrong with the government wanting to protect us from this virus? Okay, it's very simple. I don't know what is wrong with these people. There is a virus. It is killing people, old people, grandmas. And you think the government is bad. You want to make an anti-government conspiracy theory. There's a virus, but keeping us inside, they will stop us from getting the virus. By wearing these masks, these pieces of cotton, the particles from the virus cannot get through to you. What don't you understand about that? What don't you understand about that? When has this happened before? And how many viruses have we had in any country before, not even America? At any given time, at any point in history, there are viruses moving around in the air, right? Let alone a virus that has a 99 around the area percent survival rate. So we have this virus that comes from a foreign country, and already we have the media telling us how scary and bad it is. So that's one thing. The media has convinced the masses this is very scary and very, you should worry about this. And you have to think about that because these are not natural responses. When you turn on CNN and you have some woman telling you about how scary the virus is, that's not just her happening to feel that way. Here we go again, guys. The politicizing. What does this have to do with CNN? What does it have to do with CNN? Did they say CNN is fake news? They're watching Fox News. Quit making this political. Quit. Stop it. Stop. Stop it. They are telling her to act that way. She knows the part of the program is to act that way. To get the masses to fear this virus, right? So you go many months in and we find out, well, not we, because most people aren't aware of this. It's not real that much of a rare information, but it is known that the cure to COVID has already been found. You could call it a cure. I don't really know. That is totally false. No cure to this virus has been found, all right? The closest thing we've gotten are preventable measures. Not a single cure, okay? Enough is enough. Of what defines a cure, but basically, this nurse, she tested hydroxychloroquine, right? A medicine on over, I think, 200 patients. All of them recovered. You give them this medicine, they recover within a month or two, I believe. And she's done this on 200 patients. And there are video clips that go around of this woman talking about this, how she's tested this on 200 different patients. And what happens is social media companies, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all your big tech companies are going to censor this video clip. They're also going to censor anything that would allude to something that is counter to the narrative we have been fed about COVID, which is you gotta wear this piece of cotton on your face. This man is talking about nonsense. I don't know what chemicals he's talking about. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. They go in these circles and they spread misinformation. He doesn't know who this nurse is. Has he met this woman? Has he met this woman he's talking about? He hasn't. I guarantee you he hasn't. Why do you think the social media companies are censoring this stuff? Do you think they're censoring it because they care about you? Yes, they are. If guys like this are sharing this information, it will cause people to doubt the CDC. And what is the CDC's job? It is to help get this thing in order. Control disease center thing. All right, so this guy's gone online. He thinks this chemical or whatever is going to help people with this virus. Where's the proof of that? The people at the CDC seem to disagree. And what do you think they do? They sit in a lab all day and they test what they can do to help us get over the virus, all right? And the CDC cares about us. They do. Bill Gates cares about you. The CDC cares about you. The people, Mark Zuckerberg cares about you. And so, therefore, Mark Zuckerberg and the CDC, they're in this alliance to basically help make sure everyone is safe from the virus, right? They're in an alliance. And what happens is, obviously, they know these social media companies are just getting to a lot of people. And look, you can say the companies are run by liberals. That's your projection. That's your projection. But the fact is, they know these companies are, used by a lot of people. They're products, all right? So they go to these companies and they create guidelines to stop the spread of misinformation. Bill Gates cares about you. Mark Zuckerberg cares about you. And the CDC cares about you. And you anti-vaxxers, you're causing the deaths of millions of people. You're terrible people. You're terrible people. And keep you safe. And also remember that this is for anyone who posts this kind of information. So it's not like they're just banning big people. You post this kind of stuff, you're gonna get censored. They might not take your post down, but Instagram's gonna start censoring your posts so that people who go to your page can't see it. You got all these fact checkers on social media. They're all involved in the politics and they're all involved in the virus. You go on any YouTube video about the virus. What do you have? You have them telling you to go to the CDC website so you can learn all about it, and the CDC They want you to go to the CDC website because the CDC knows what they're doing. They don't lie. Look, you people think massive corporations would lie to you? They wouldn't. And even if they would, what makes you think the CDC is the one that's lying, huh? You know, the conservatives that are running this country, and that we're running this country for the 4 past years, and we're having racists go to the Capitol. And you know what? They hurt lots of people there at the Capitol. Go back January 6th. You'll see what these kinds of people do. I hate making it political, but this is what has to be said. These right-wingers, we have to stop them. He's going to tell you what it is like. And some might say, well, that doesn't make sense. There's this virus out. And I want to know what it... Well, no, not really. Why has this not happened before by that logic? Why is this just now with a virus that has a 99% survival rate? Why are we just now... Everyone needs to be worried about it. Everyone needs to be concerned. Okay, you turn on the news, they're constantly telling you how scary it is. They got these numbers up. You're going to die in a car crash, theoretically, before you will die from COVID. The chances are so low, but yet they've got everyone walking around with a mask. You've got in the blue states, you've got mandates where you have to wear a mask. It's by the state law. And then even in the red states, you still have to wear a mask because the local businesses are enforcing this. So what does that introduce? That introduces the people getting used to doing what the government tells them, specifically in this context. No. In terms of, he has to make everything about the government because he has a narrow lens of the world that he views it from. And look, if we have to sacrifice a little bit of freedom to get over this virus, then we should do that. There, you have this basic right in America to, what you could say, do as you wish. Obviously, there's laws and things, but we've never really had a situation before where the government has mandated the citizens to do something specific to their body, let alone something as simple as a mask. And people are... That is not true. Don't you know nudity is illegal? All right. Would you people go around naked for the sake of civility and liberty? You wouldn't. So why is it so hard to put a piece of cotton on your face for several months until this whole thing is over? It's not. You people are crazy. You right-wing conspiracy theorists, you're crazy. I've had enough. You've all done too much. You've all done too much. Naive enough to think the government is not going to go the next step further. And a question that comes to my mind is, would you, if the government had told you to, if they say they want you to wear a mask for the next 10 years, would you do such a thing? And I think most people would answer that question with a no. So something in people's minds, it's like people only get suspicious after a certain amount of time, right? So what the plan is, obviously, is we introduce these nuanced things step by step by step by step, and we get the people more used to it, right? Another thing that is very suspicious about this whole COVID stuff, the vaccines, right? Like I've said, which you could call a cure, and I think I should call it a cure, but nowadays everyone's so involved in semantics and words. Everything's so political. There is no cure to this virus, all right? The best thing we have is the vaccines. And you anti-vaxxers, you want to ruin this. You want to get in our way. Our country is trying to heal. We've experienced so many horrible things. Xenophobia, racism, white supremacy, homophobia, Islamophobia, misogyny, sexism against women. Heteronormativity. We've experienced that for decades. And we're finally getting a scientific revolution. We're going to the moon. We're going to the moon. I think Elon Musk is a little bit misogynistic, but he's taking us to the moon, or to Mars, or whatever. And you anti-vaxxers want to get in the way of science. Science is thriving and developing. I'm getting fed up with you people. You people make me tremble. You make me shake. Besides that, I'm sure there'd be people who would want to fact check me and say that's not a cure, that's just a treatment or something, whatever. Same difference, right? But we already know that hydroxychloroquine basically guarantees people recover from the COVID-19 virus, this virus with a 1% death rate. This is what Donald Trump used even when he had the virus. And this is what he promoted. And he even promoted this, and people were making memes about it, talking about how he told people to drink bleach, right? So they'll make memes about the cure, but then Donald Trump is a liar. He's a liar. Why would you trust anything the man says? He lied. He said he was going to build a wall. He didn't build a wall. He barely completed it. He's a liar. He's a liar. Just because hydroxychloroquine works doesn't mean the vaccines aren't helpful. And it doesn't work. It doesn't work, okay? Do you know why I know it doesn't work? Because I've looked at the YouTube guidelines, and YouTube is in alliance with the CDC. And the CDC knows everything about the virus, and they're totally honest. And they don't lie about anything. Nothing. They don't lie. Massive corporations do not lie. Massive corporations do not lie. They don't. They don't. They don't. And I looked in the YouTube guidelines. You know what they told me? They told me not to promote hydroxychloroquine. They told me not to do that stuff. You know why? Because they know that it's going to be a false alarm, and that people are going to think they can get their hands on hydroxychloroquine, and that the vaccine is bad, and it's going to cause more deaths because people won't be taking the vaccine. It's going to save them from the virus potentially. What don't you people understand? The CDC cares about you. They care about you. Massive corporations care about you. Shall I repeat it? Massive corporations care about you. Massive corporations care about you. When the vaccine comes out, which doesn't work like regular vaccines, and me personally, I used to be just an average person. I guess I'll take a vaccine or whatever, but after seeing how all this nonsense is unfolded, I'll never take another vaccine ever again. And that is for the sake of precaution. If you see that the government will do this even one time, they will give out a vaccine. They have chemicals in the vaccine, or what, I don't know, proteins or something in the vaccine called Luciferian. That should be suspicious to you. Maybe to some people wouldn't really care, but don't you think it's suspicious that somewhere in the world, in this vaccine, someone had the idea to name part of the vaccine after Lucifer? That should be suspicious. No. There's nothing suspicious about demonic titles. There's nothing suspicious about naming chemicals after Satan. He's mythical. He's not real. Who cares? And the fact that they're using adrenochrome from aborted babies inside of the vaccine. Here it goes again. Another thing he's talking about that's in the YouTube guidelines. You know why YouTube put this in their guidelines? Because they knew. They're watching. They're watching the circles of conspiracy theorists. And they know these kinds of lies these guys are perpetuating. All right? And they know that if they put this stuff in their guidelines, they can at least stop some of the misinformation. The misinformation needs to stop. The misinformation needs to stop. It needs to stop. It's red herring to promote, taking away women's rights, because women should have the right to kill their babies. There's nothing immoral about that. They should have the right to kill their babies. Women should just have the right to kill their babies. Okay? If a doctor wants to come and, a woman had sex because she's been having sex for years, since she was 10, and she's been fornicating all these years, there's nothing wrong with that. And if she gets pregnant or she even gets raped, which would be horrible, but that happens because men are misogynist. If she gets raped, she needs to have the option. Just, get a doctor. She'll sit down. They'll get a doctor. This doctor will take a vacuum and, just suck the baby out like a slushie. What's so bad about that? So, I know that sounds irrelevant, but this guy, he's trying to bring in the fetus thing, which is a lie. Where's the evidence that shows that, dead babies are in the vaccine? There's none. There's none. So this guy's lying. He's spreading his false, and his immoral, anti pro-choice narrative and his anti women's rights narratives. He's against women's rights, and that's the thing about these people on the right. They're just misogynists. They want to cover it up. They want to pretend they don't hate women. They do. They hate women. You know why they hate women? Because when they were young, they wanted a girlfriend. Okay, they tried to get a girlfriend, and what happened? This girl broke their hearts because they saw how lame these guys were. And just after getting their hearts broken by these women, which these women were innocent. They just didn't want these lame guys. They started to hate women. They started to hate women. So don't get it confused. These right wingers, they are misogynist. They do hate women. That should be suspicious. Putting dead people inside your body, that should be suspicious. The fact that you can turn on CNN and they're saying, I literally, because I saw this myself. I did not see this on YouTube or something. I happened to be in the kitchen. CNN was on. I look at it. This woman is saying, what we want is, yes, you're going to have the choice to take the vaccine, but we want it to basically not be a choice. That's basically her exact wording. I'm paraphrasing, but very close to what she said. So basically, they want you to not have a choice to take it. They want the illusion of a choice, but they basically want to force you to take this with the circumstances. And then on top of all that stuff, you have Bill Gates, who predicted many years ago already that, or maybe it wasn't even a prediction, maybe it was just him bluntly stating that a virus would be coming within the next several years. This guy's got millions of dollars. He's on to the climate change stuff. He's on to the idea that So what can we deduce here, guys? This guy doesn't believe in climate change. He doesn't believe that the Earth is heating up because of gases surrounding the atmosphere. This is a conspiracy theorist type. The planet is populated with too many humans. We need to lower the population. And you have many people like that who were in the front pages of this COVID stuff. You have Dr. Fauci, which his double talk should make you suspicious as well. So you have Bill Gates who's saying we have a virus that's coming in the next few years. You have people in the media too who are already talking about the next pandemic. So if that doesn't tell you there's planning to all this stuff is not accidental. This stuff is not just happening by happen chance. And if you see all these things and you're still not suspicious, you'd still rather think that it's some crazy conspiracy theory, that you should not take these vaccines, you should not let the government force you to wear a mask all the time and stay inside your house, whatever. And these are just the specifics. People will hear the mask thing and get all iffy because they've been on their phone on Instagram all day seeing these memes, these anti-masker memes. And that's another bad thing about it too. For people who don't keep up with politics, what's going on, all they have is what they see, what they hear from their teachers in school, what they hear from their peers at work who are all taking the vaccine and bragging to each other about taking it. And all these memes. They've got this idea planted in basically the masses' minds that the right thing to do is there's simply a virus, we must follow the government. They just want to protect us. The government totally doesn't want to get rid of us. There's totally not people in the government that want to lower the human population. They all care about us, and these people who don't want to wear masks, they're just a little bit cuckoo, and they're not in touch with reality. So they basically got this narrative to, one, get everyone afraid of it, right? And two, get people who aren't afraid of it and are saying, hey, look, here's what's going on. You have people in the government that want to lower the population. You have a virus that the cure has already been found, and we have a vaccine. Not only that, but this supposed vaccine that is supposed to save us all is killing people. People are taking this vaccine and they are dying. Old people are taking this and they are dying. This is not true. There are people that have taken the vaccine and they're actually healthier. They're actually healthier. There's no pregnant women that have taken the vaccine and their kids have died. There's no people that have taken it and died. And if they did, it's not because of the vaccine, all right? Look at Ben Shapiro's sister. Ben Shapiro's sister, she took the vaccine. She was pregnant, and she took the vaccine, and everything's fine. That's random. I don't like Ben Shapiro. He's a Nazi, but his sister took the vaccine. He's an anti-vaxxer. Right? No, yeah, he's a pro-vaxxer, which is actually good. But the kind of people that watch him are anti-vax. And his sister took the vaccine, and she had a baby. I'm just using her example, by the way. Her baby's fine. her baby's good. Her baby's healthy. So it actually seems like, taking this vaccine is making people healthier. So, rappers have taken the vaccine. DMX took the vaccine. I think he's fine, right? Don't fact check me on that. I don't keep up with these rappers too much. DMX took the vaccine. He's good. Or is this notion that people are taking the vaccine and dying? Where is it coming from? I don't see any. Do you see any? Do you see anyone who's taken the vaccine and they suspiciously died like weeks or a few months later? No, it's not happening. It's just not happening. So we need to stop with the misinformation here. We need to stop. Women are taking this vaccine and their babies are dying. Okay? So it's really a gamble, and there's nothing that can be more blatant about it. I mean, it just gets worse and worse. You see more suspicious stuff, and it's really sad because it seems like people who aren't onto it by now, you would almost imagine they'll never catch on. And this is not a personal thing. People think it's personal. People think it's about this is not philosophical. This is reality. The fact that the cure to this has already been found is not a philosophy. It is reality. The fact that it is suspicious that when you go on your phone to watch some YouTube videos, they've got 10 videos telling you about the vaccine. Let me go to my homepage right now. Okay. Okay. This is on my homepage. New information about COVID-19 vaccine and pregnant women. So they're going to, not only is it killing pregnant women, but they're going to come in the media and they're going to tell you this is not happening. They're going to get all these mainstream people to talk with Dr. Fauci and all these so-called experts about the vaccine. You have this guy from Game Theory, I forget what his Matt Pat. They're going to get him to come on there and basically sell all this normie fancy idea that there's nothing crazy about this, nothing suspicious going on here. Those are just conspiracy theories. This vaccine is safe. What is this one? India shatters global record for daily COVID-19 cases. How can you see all this and think it is accidental? How can you see the fact that the virus was a 99% survival rate, like I've said 50 times already? How can you not see the fact this is being put in your face for a reason, and that this is quite simply fear-mongering? People recover from COVID-19 but still test positive, aren't contagious. Blah, blah, blah. You get the idea. When will children be able to get COVID-19 vaccines? So they want to get all these naive people who are just innocent, living their lives. They watch the news, and they're naive enough to think the news is honest, that there's not propaganda, right? So they've got all these people seeing all this information about the virus. They are going to think that this is the right thing to do, and that this is just for their safety. And the scientists, we live in a country of science. That's a new thing, right? That's a new thing in politics. On the left, everyone loves science, right? Everybody loves science. We all came into this existence by accident. We all evolved, and all the designs of biology, they're all accident. We learned that through science, and now we learned that we can put pieces of cotton on our face to protect our bodies. And now we learned that the planet is being destroyed, and we're going to give you a vaccine. And yeah, it's killing people. It's killing people, but some people are surviving too. So what's the big deal? People need to start paying attention. And this is not me. I'm not saying this to feel better than other people, but there should be more people who are aware of this stuff. Yes, you are. You've went into your circles and you've heard the lies. You're a narcissist. You want to feel better than others. You've heard the lies. You want to look around at all your people who wear their masks and want to do right and be safe. And you look down on them because you're a narcissist. You are a narcissist. People like this should be censored. And I don't have a problem with people being censored because you spread lies. And you're evil. You spread lies. And it kills people. My classes for Zoom in school. And my teachers are bragging to me about how they took this vaccine. How can a country be fooled like this? How can you have a vaccine that is killing people? And the media has convinced the masses to think this is a good thing. So, for people who are not aware of this kind of stuff, and like I said, these are not philosophies. These are not theories. These things are facts. Okay, fact checkers. These things are facts. Okay, so if you were not paying attention, if you were thinking, oh, maybe I'll take the vaccine, it's time to take the red pill, and it's time to It's time to become anti-vax, okay? You don't have to. You can take the next vaccine. I'm sure, and this is the first time. I think it's the first time. Probably not. But from what I know, this is the first time they've given us a vaccine that is harming the at least to the extent of death, right? Probably not, though. They've probably done this before. But think about it. If they can get away with it this one time and get the people to take a vaccine that is potentially going to kill them, and if not kill them, who knows what other effects it's going to have, even if you survive it. Think about how worse it will become the next time they have a pandemic, and they can do this 4 more times within the next decade, and the people will probably go for it. They can probably get everyone to wear 2 masks. They can probably get everyone to stuff I don't know, something in their nose. People are so gullible at this point, and we're not really at the beginning because evil has always been around, but we're at the beginning in the sense that it's like you have the mark of the beast over here, right? Which is this is biblical prophecy, right?
Oh, here we go. Here we go. This person, we're living in society. There's a virus that's hurting people, and this person wants to bring their religion into it, as if their conspiracy theories in their book are relevant to our culture. Disgusting. I'm disgusted.
Of a globalist regime, and you're going to have the government force everyone to put something in their body, and people see this biblical prophecy exists, and they'll see the signs right now. They'll see that the government is trying to. They're gonna deny your travel. This is the first step. They're gonna deny travel, and the next thing, these COVID vaccine passports, and they're going to do that. It will probably go through, and people will accept that as a norm, and people will see the biblical prophecy still, and they'll think it's a fairy tale. They'll think God is a fairy tale. How can you see this prophecy and see how things are going in society, and how can you not have a red flag go off in your head? So, overall, if you do not know about these kinds of things, my thing I would say to you is probably be more skeptical and put your safety above your ego, because I think for a lot of people, I've seen people who, on the internet, who have seen all this information, they've heard about all this information, but I think because they feel so good about not being a conspiracy theorist, about not being suspicious, about not being a little child making up stories, they would literally rather risk their health, compromise their safety. I saw one woman on social media, and she was like, I researched the COVID vaccine because, there's some people who are suspicious of it. So I researched it. And I came to the conclusion, all the fact checkers told me that it's safe. So I went ahead and took it. And I think the next day or a few days later, her baby is dead. This pregnant woman, her baby's dead. So would you rather have something like that happen to you, or would you rather humble yourself and be like, okay, maybe what I thought were conspiracy theories, maybe there's truth to these things? Because if people are dying and you have a whole country, a whole economy that is shut down due to a virus with, like I'll say for the 50th time, a 99% survival rate, and people hear that, they don't think about that. Think about that. Not 99% survival. What does that mean? That means a very tiny minority of the population is suffering from this thing, yet it is a pandemic. It is the worst thing in the world. Okay, and not to mention the numbers are inflated. You have hospitals being paid to boost the numbers up. Not only that, but on top of the fact, you have, if someone is to go and get reported that they have COVID-19, they get a COVID-19 test, and they come back to get tested again, and they still have it. That's 2 cases. They probably have other stuff besides that. But basically, this whole thing is a setup. This is part of the plan to get rid of the humans. You already have it planted in people's mind. There's too many of humans on this planet. We need to save the planet instead of perpetuating humanity. The planet is more important than the souls of the beings on it, created by God, right? So you already have that narrative planted in people's mind, and now you've got a problem that is put with that to get people to follow this narrative. And we're gonna have everyone taking vaccines. We're gonna have everyone with COVID passports. And this is the rise of a one world order. This is the rise of globalism. And people think this stuff is silly. People think this stuff is a joke. Give it 60 years if we keep going like this and see what happens. But That's my take on the whole thing, and I think it's real. You know, there is a little bit of hope, kind of, because you see, I'm not. It's not that niche what I'm saying. There's a decent amount of people, I guess, that would agree with me or know what I'm talking about. But I think the masses still, even if they hear this information, they're skeptical and they'd rather, no, man, give me my vaccine. Give me my vaccine. I'm not safe. Give me my vaccine. So, yeah, basically, put your ego aside. If you're like a government sheep, and you want to take the vaccine to protect your safety or whatever, put your ego aside. And if you care about your life, and if you care about humanity, let's flip the narrative. The narrative is, if you care about humanity, you will wear your mask, you will take your vaccine. How about the opposite? If you care about humanity, you will not let the government become tyrannical. You will not let your country become globalist, and you will not let these evil people who want to get rid of the human race destroy us. And remember, there's always going to be an excuse. There's always going to be, oh, there's a virus. Oh, there's too many of us. And you're going to see more and more and more and more and more and more excuses as time goes on. So do not be fooled. Do not take this vaccine, and do not be naive enough to think the government has no malicious intention. You cannot trust people like this. You cannot listen to people like this. This guy's a liar. Don't take him seriously. He's spreading a false narrative. He's the one who wants you dead. Do not listen to him. His agendas are hurting this country. Okay? Stop spreading misinformation. Stop spreading misinformation. Stop it. Guys, so I'll just let you take a look at those. I mean, you don't have to read them. You're probably, you know what I mean, you probably don't want to read all that, and that's fine, because we all know that these people are giving misinformation, not YouTube. YouTube is telling us the truth, but people like this guy have just made this video about their they're stopping misinformation, and YouTube wants to help deal with these people too. That's why, along with these COVID guidelines, you have these guidelines concerning the election, because there was this lie that the election was stolen. It just wasn't. There was no evidence of that. There's no evidence of that. No evidence. There's no evidence of the election being stolen. Okay. Joe Biden does not have dementia, and he did not steal an election. So, I'll just let you read. I don't want to read these out because they're so long, but I'll scroll through each one. You can pause it and read if you want. I think it's just very interesting that YouTube just cares about us this much to give us all this information. So, here we go. Obviously they don't want to spread any misinformation about hydroxychloroquine, because that's what the guy mentioned in the video. He's a liar. You can't trust him. We got stuff about Asian food. And here we go. This is what YouTube is very smart. The people who work at YouTube, but they're very smart, so they know that they need to have people like tearing these guys down, basically, who make this stuff. So that's what I've done today. I've teared down this Trumper guy, probably misogynist, probably hates women, and we may allow content that violates the. Yeah, so good thing I'm not promoting misinformation here. I would never do that. Like I said, my purpose was to condemn and dispute this misinformation. And it's just misinformation. So as that, guys, let's look at some of this election misinformation. Okay. Yeah, voter suppression. If you guys don't know what that is, that's basically when these white guys, these white guys, they don't want black people to vote because they don't like black people because of their skin color. They don't like the color brown for some reason. So they just like hate black people off that they're based of the color brown, because they don't like that color. So sometimes that happens, but that's irrelevant. Get this out of the way, guys. We can't spread misinformation. It's horrible. We don't want that to happen. So make sure you stop spreading misinformation. So what's my overall take on people who are spreading misinformation like this? Don't listen to them.
I've made this video just so you people know that we need to stop allowing these people to have a platform. They're lying. What they're saying is not reasonable. It's not rational. It's not even understandable because it's just so dumb. These people are liars. Don't listen to them. Just don't. So yeah, that's my overall take. YouTube, just so you know, guys. YouTube. Don't get mistaken. I don't support this guy. This guy's a liar, and I did make the video, like I said, following your policies to dispute him. So just let that be known, okay? The guy's a liar. I don't trust him. I don't trust any of these Trumper types. They just have a history of lying. Thumbnail. Chair out the way. Thumbnail. Keep focus, please. Jeesh.